Good morning. It's Wednesday, January the 14th. I'm Will Puckett. Thanks for joining us for Catch Up Quick. We're going to get you straight to your first alert forecast as our first alert weather team is tracking rain, snow, and freezing cold temperatures to follow. First alert meteorologist Kyle Granger in with us today. Kyle, all starting to kick up later on this afternoon.
Yeah, we've got another couple of hours before the big widespread rainfall settles into the valley. So hopefully you can get some of those errands done if you need to run out and do something for now. It's just cold and it's cloudy out there. We're sitting in the 40s for most of us. Some of you have touched on 50 already today. 46 for Gatlinburg to 48 in Knoxville, 47 Maynardville up to Barberville, 43 Kingston to 44 in Crossville. And you see here the clouds, and now we're starting to see some of that rain inching closer. Some of this may be having a hard time reaching the ground because the air is so dry, but what is off to our west definitely will reach the ground and it becomes more widespread. Really for the lunchtime and thereafter, we need to have those umbrellas, those rain jackets handy as that batch of rain continues to move on in. So for the rest of this day today, we sit close to where we are now, if not touching 50 to 51 degrees through the afternoon. Then once that sun sets, it may be difficult to see with the clouds. We'll start to see the transition that happens over into some snow. It's going to be light, not going to be a big deal. You'll notice the cold temperatures as we move forward. That'll be the bigger problem as we move through our Thursday. So the rain settles in, transition to snow, and then that brutally cold air we'll talk about in just a few minutes.
All righty, Kyle, we'll get back to you. Appreciate it. Well, one of the biggest questions going on right now, are the roads going to be okay? Will they be impacted by anything that falls? Well, our Aaron Rodgers is talking with road crews about why they're not worried today and are taking a closer look at what goes into keeping you safe.
Well, we are about to see those temperatures drop. And when that happens, a lot of folks get worried about ice on the roads or just being pre-treated in general, brine, salt. So I talked to some crews. Knox County Public Works tell me you have nothing to worry about. They have got you covered. Now, they say they have the resources. They've got the brine, they've got the salt, the trucks, but they don't think they're going to need it. The last 2 years, we have needed it, but this time around, it's not looking like that here in the valley. Statewide, though, some areas are more prone to that ice, are higher elevation. So TDOT making sure to cover their bases. They're pre-treating areas like I-40 in Roane County, I-81 in Washington, Greene and Hamblin, even I-75 in Campbell County. But as a reminder, Knox County Public Works do tell me that water can be anywhere. It doesn't have to be weather related. It can come from a broken pipe or a spring. So they say if you see water on the road, make sure to give them a call so they know that they can go and treat that spot with salt to make sure that we don't have any slick spots. In Knoxville, Aaron Rodgers, WVLT News.
Now, with those dangerously cold temperatures moving in, a few warming centers in Knoxville are making sure that folks have a place to stay tonight. Cokesbury Church on Kingston Pike, Eternal Life Harvest Center on Western Avenue, and the Salvation Army on North Broadway will all open whenever temperatures get 25 degrees or lower. That'll last through February 28th. We have a full list of warming shelters for you inside your WVLT News App. Church Street UMC will not open tonight, but they will be open tomorrow night for those cold temps. Well, Tennessee's only woman on death row is now suing the state, saying the lethal injection violates her religious beliefs. Krista Gale Pike was convicted in Knox County of killing Colleen Slemmer more than 30 years ago in 1995. The lawsuit says that Tennessee's new lethal injection protocols violates the Constitution, and the process to choose a different one violates Pike's religious beliefs. Pike also claims in the suit that she has a medical condition that if injected with the state's lethal injection, it would cause a drowning sensation. She's scheduled to be executed on September 30th of this year. It would mark the first time Tennessee has put a woman to death in more than 200 years. Well, the family of a teen killed in an officer-involved shooting at a local high school has reached a tentative settlement agreement with the city of Knoxville and the Knoxville Police Department. 17-year-old Anthony Thompson Jr. was fatally shot in 2021 by an officer at Austin East Magnet High School. Officers were called to investigate after Thompson was said by school officials to have gotten into a fight earlier in the day with his girlfriend. They also believe that he left the school building and returned. The shooting occurred later in that day when officers found Thompson in a bathroom at the school. The agreement, if finalized, would resolve a lawsuit filed by Thompson's mother. That lawsuit claims that he was denied medical care after the shooting. Details of the settlement are not yet public. We'll continue to work to learn them. When they are, we'll pass them along to you. Well, we're getting an idea of who could take over Knox County's juvenile detention Detention Center this time around. The board recommending that juvenile judge Tim Irwin should be in charge of the center moving forward. Commissioner Larson J. says Irwin expects to have the support of Knox County Mayor Glenn Jacobs. He'll be in charge of a 7-member board that has representatives from the mayor's office, health department, and county commission. This will be voted on over the next 2 months. If approved, Irwin would take over the center on April 1st. One man is recovering today and a suspect is in custody following a shooting in Morgan County. The sheriff's office says it happened at a home on Coalfield Tuesday afternoon. The victim was flown by Lifestar to UT Medical Center. Deputies say a man was arrested and the investigation remains ongoing. The Tennessee Highway Patrol says a trooper did not hit a protester with their vehicle at an anti-ICE rally over the weekend in West Tennessee. Take a look at this dash cam video. It shows a protester in Memphis walking out into the middle of the road and stopping a THP cruiser, then puts his hands on the car, squats down in front of it, then stands up, waves his finger, and walks away. THP saying the rumor that the trooper hit the protester is not true. They say that peaceful protest is protected. However, entering an active roadway is not and risks lives.
Your First Alert forecast with meteorologist Kyle Granger.
As you get out and about on this Wednesday, you're going to notice the clouds. It's a little chilly for some, and the rain is going to be settling in. So a pretty damp afternoon is ahead for us as we go through the rest of this Wednesday. I hope you had a great night's rest and welcome on in to the rest of the week. Yes, we're rolling into the weekend, approaching it with that mix of sun and clouds for parts of the day today and that light rain that settles in by 3 o'clock. Our high today gets close to 50, and our temperatures fall quickly after sunset back down into the 30s, and we transition into that rain snow mix for a lot of us. You're also going to notice those winds that are blowing around today. 25-mile-per-hour gusts not out of the question, and that lasts into the evening hours as well. So we'll stop the time clock 2:30 this afternoon. Maybe you're back at the kids' bus stop or waiting for them at the school. You'll definitely have some of the rain jackets and the umbrellas, the needs for that here from Sneedville back over to La Follette, parts of Wartburg and Knoxville. This inches down into Sevier County, parts of Cobb County. We transition at the highest elevations to snow, same happening across parts of the plateau. And then we get a burst of cold air that comes in on the backside, and any leftover moisture from Scott County into Campbell County will definitely make that transition. Continuing to see that overnight tonight. About the time you head to bed, look out, see if you see any of those snowflakes. And we're dealing with that overnight tonight and then tomorrow morning as well, especially into the Smoky Mountains. So here's the way that forecast where you live shapes up. We're close to 50 in some areas this afternoon. The rest of us hanging out in the low to mid 40s. 50 in Knoxville, Clinton, parts of Lenoir City, over to 47 in Loudon, Spring City, 42 Crossville to 41 in Jamestown, across parts of the north area, 45 in Tazewell, 46 in Sneedville, and back over into the Smokies. We're at 48 this afternoon in Gatlinburg. So periods of snow overnight tonight, not out of the question. Most of us just see a little light dusting. Other areas above, say, 1,500 to 3,000 feet where we'll see some of those higher accumulations. We're at 23 overnight tonight, and you see here for the most part of the Futurecast tomorrow showing us this last right on through the middle part of the day into the Smoky Mountains. I suspect 441 may close here later on this afternoon thanks to that. So updated totals for you today. If you get a dusting in Knoxville, you're doing pretty good. Maybe see a little burst that comes through parts of La Follette, especially closer to the foothills of the Smokies. Hartford, back over the Pittman Center, parts of Townsend, close to that inch. Now, the 8-day planning forecast really details how cold it is as we go through Thursday. Struggling to get out of the 20s and into the low 30s for the afternoon. We stay in the 20s and 30s for overnight lows going into next week. Of course, the Martin Luther King holiday for any of those celebrations and parades and marches around town will be cold, starting off in the 20s and staying chilly in the afternoon as well next week.
All righty, Kyle. Thank you, sir. Well, as more people move and travel to East Tennessee, McGee-Tyson Airport wants to expand. On top of an additional parking garage that's already under construction, the airport wants to add 6 gates to Concourse A, create a bigger terminal, expand ticketing, baggage handling areas, and security screening checkpoints. Now, before they break ground on any of that, they do have to check for any type of environmental impact first. Airport officials think more than 5 million people will use McGee-Tyson by 2028. All of the changes, though, will come pretty much after that. The entire project would be expected to be wrapped up by 2035. Well, starting next month, flyers who don't have a real ID will have to pay a $45 fee. Once you pay that, you'll be verified for 10 days. It may take you a little while longer to get through airport security. If you have a passport, that also works as a valid form of identification. Well, in Tennessee, parents are having to make some difficult decisions between working and finding childcare for their children. Tennessee recently releasing its State of the Child report. It says that families are spending about 17% of their income on childcare. In some cases, the costs are higher than tuition at UT. The report also says that East Tennessee is facing a lack of childcare centers. Jeff Muir with Blunt Partnership says many people have created childcare centers, but they're hoping for more.
We've had a number of small businesses and entrepreneurs that have created child care facilities, but we're kind of looking to see if we can broaden it up to a little bit larger level with companies.
Now, the average cost for toddler care in Blount County is $13,000. Costs in Knox County are just slightly below that. WVLT proud to be your official station of the Vols in a pretty stressful game last night, but it all ended with a big sigh of relief as the Vols got back into the win column. Tennessee taking down Texas A&M at home 87-82 in double overtime. Freshman Nate Ament leading the way with 23 points for UT. The Vols dominating the boards, out-rebounding the Aggies by 25. UT also getting it done at the free throw line, scoring 31 points at the charity stripe. While turnovers are still a big issue for Tennessee, Coach Barnes crediting his team for a gritty performance.
Really proud of the guys, just their grit, you know, is really neat in the huddle with them. They stayed together. They kept finding a way. You know, it's not going to be the prettiest game. I mean, we haven't played against a style like that all year, and but we found a way.
Up next, it's Tennessee and Kentucky. The last time the two played, a big Vol win in the Sweet 16. Tip-off inside the Food City Center is Saturday at noon. You can catch the game on ESPN. Well, shifting focus now to the Diamond. It's only 30 days until the Vols baseball team takes the field, and practice is already underway. It's year one for new head coach Josh Elander taking over for Tony Vitello, who left for San Francisco. Still quite a bit of talent on this year's team. Some preseason polls have the Vols ranked as high as number 3. D1 Baseball's poll has Tennessee at number 14. The Vols open a 3-game series on February the 13th, that against Nichols State. And the Lady Vols softball team also getting ready to take the Diamond. Karen Weekly's squad once again expected to be one of the best in the country. They're ranked number 4 in Softball America's preseason poll. Softball America also naming star pitcher Carlin Pickens as a preseason All-American. The Lady Vols open the season February 5th down in Florida in a tournament where they'll take on BYU to kick things off. Well, how about some cuteness this morning? Zoo Knoxville has a new red panda who is making her public debut. Kiana, the 6-year-old resilient female red panda at Boyd Family Red Panda Village. She came to Knoxville as a breeding recommendation for Lincoln, the zoo's male red panda, who died recently. Born at the Oklahoma City Zoo, Kiana experienced a congenital deformity affecting her left hind leg, which prompted the vet team to have to amputate it when she was young. Zoo Knoxville saying Kiana recovered and has adapted remarkably well. Zoo Knoxville saying her debut also provides an opportunity to highlight the importance of veterinary medicine, animal welfare, and individualized care in modern zoos. All right, here's something that'll maybe make you a little hungry this morning. A new Popeyes is under construction. This near Bearden. City records showing applications for building permits at the address for a project titled Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen. The restaurant is going in at 7355 Kingston Pike. That's just, what would we say, east of Westtown Mall on Kingston Pike. Right in a plot next door to Zips Car Wash, Popeyes made headlines and earned a place in the fast food history by sparking the chicken sandwich wars, an online phenomenon which saw similar chains try their hand at Southern-style chicken sandwiches to compete with Popeyes' own. Our Aaron Rodgers says it's the best one out there. You find out for yourself. Well, the Knoxville Landmark is being revived for one of the biggest music festivals in the world. Part of this year's Big Ears Festival will take place at the old Greyhound station near the Old City. It was around for nearly 60 years before it closed in 2022. The space is poised to become one of Big Ear's most unforgettable settings. The festival runs from March 26th through the 29th. People come to Knoxville from all over the world for Big Ears. You can grab your tickets right now. Well, here's something that'll satisfy your earbuds A new version of a Dolly classic hits streaming platforms Friday. Light of a Clear Blue Morning was first released in 1977. The new rendition features some other musical artists, her goddaughter Miley Cyrus, Lainey Wilson, Queen Latifah, and Reba. You can pre-save the song right now. All the money from the recording and music video will benefit cancer research at Monroe Carroll Jr. Children's Hospital at Vanderbilt.
We the People, celebrating 250 years of America. Sponsored by Garza Law Firm.
On this day, January 14th, 1973, Rick Russo's Miami Dolphins won the Super Bowl and marked the end of a perfect season. 17 wins, 0 defeats, taking down the Washington at the time Redskins 14-7. To this day, no NFL team has been able to repeat this feat, the closest being the New England Patriots in 2007, who entered the Super Bowl with a perfect 18-0 record before losing to the New York Giants with a miraculous David Tyree helmet catch that has gone down in history. Congrats to the Dolphins. They celebrate every year with a party to mark still being the only team to do it. Well, that's going to do it for us today on Catch Up Quick. A reminder, you can stay up to date as that cold and wintry weather moves into East Tennessee. You can do that right here on WVLT Plus, inside your WVLT First Alert weather app, and on all of our social media pages. We'll see you back here safely tomorrow.